Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
The platform. Step up and speak out.
It is indeed a good evening. You listen to ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station, the hardest radio in town. My name is Larry Quidadai, and yet another episode of the platform is Political Mondays. And before I go into the really exciting topic we have for today, it generated so much social media interest, and we got so many comments from social media, and I know there's a lot of comments that are going to be coming off on our WhatsApp platform and so forth. But before I go into that, just to remind you of the frequencies you can listen to ZiFM across the country on Chivu 99.8, Kama TV Wange 105.1 rather, Kariba is 105.3, Mutora Shange 97.6, Nyanga 98.2, Bulawayo in my hometown 106.7. We're broadcasting of Harare where our frequency is 106.4. Listen to us over the internet. It's www.zfmstereo.co.zw. On Facebook is facebook.com/ZFM Stereo. On Twitter is at ZiFM Stereo. On TuneIn, not TuneIn. Yes, you can download the TuneIn. I forgot about download the TuneIn app. It's available for free, and look for us, and you can listen to us live and in charge. But I wanted to mention our Instagram, which is at ZiFM Stereo ZW, and also on YouTube, where it is just look for ZiFM Stereo, and you can listen to programs that were as podcasts. This show you can listen to it via our YouTube platform. Now, getting into the action. I'm going to mention the WhatsApp numbers and the call-in numbers, because the moment I mention them, I know the message is going to come in through. But I'm mentioning them afterwards, because I know you guys got the trigger ready to ask all the questions, and our guest here is having a bit of a smile about it. But just on Friday last week, the National Council of the Opposition MDC-T, the supreme decision-making body in between Congresses, also decided to record two of its affected legislators in Dr. Kupe's Makokoba and Mr. Bebe, who is Ngai South from Parliament, and also fired in this instance is a spokesperson, Obert Gutu. It is believed more than 2/3 of the National Council voted in favor of the resolutions, confirming that, you know, this is what's going to happen. And the person that I have in the studio today, I'm not sure how to introduce you, because in public, people are saying you're one thing. Your Twitter says one thing. I'm going to read your Twitter before I introduce you. It says, big announcement. I'm not going to continue associating. This is from 22nd February. I'm not going to continue associating myself with an organization that advocates for violence and thuggery. I'm a principled politician and a professional. I'm not quitting politics. I'm going to contest in Harare East constituency in 2018 elections. Violence and thuggery as a tool for political mobilization is simply not acceptable in my scheme of things. We are supposed to be a political party, not a ragtag armed militia. Obert Gutu, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Zimbabwe. Sisonke.
So after giving that introduction, what is the meaning behind the tweets that you made?
All the tweets are very straightforward. They are very unambiguous. They are very, I believe, straightforward. I was simply saying that I do not want to associate with people who are violent, with people who use violence, who use intimidation, and who use thuggery as a tool for political mobilization and political maneuvering. I believe it can be more, it can be clearer than that. So it was just a statement of my beliefs, my principle, to which even tonight, as I speak to the nation, as I speak to Zimbabweans, to my fellow comrades in the country and in the diaspora who are listening right now, I still stand by. There's no ambiguity there. It's very clear. It's like I said, it can be clearer than that.
0731-168-045. That's our WhatsApp number, and the call-in number is 0772-168-045. Now you have a tweet again from the 24th of March in which you said, we're the lawful, rightful and legitimate MDC-T that is led by Acting President Honorable Dr. Thokozani Kupe. We cannot be expelled from the party by a bogus National Council that has dismally failed to comply with the provisions of the MDC-T Constitution. Going back within the two statements, once again, You said you've left the organization, so to speak.
No.
So what were you saying? That's why I asked, what's the meaning behind it?
All I said is I said, if you look on the earlier tweet, I can't remember the exact date, but I think it's a few weeks.
22 February.
22 February. All I said is I'm not associating with people or an organization.
So what is the organization? Is it the MDC-T? Is the MDC Alliance? Is it? There's an
maybe
organization?
For the benefit of the listeners, I thought you were going to ask me about my capacity to say, as I speak to the nation, as I converse with you today, in what capacity am I doing that? And
okay, let's go with that if that makes me comfortable.
It's actually very important. I am actually the rightful, the lawful, and indeed the legitimate, duly elected national spokesperson of the MDC-T. That is the position, both legally and factually. And as I address my fellow Zimbabweans tonight, I want them to have absolutely no doubt in their minds that whatever announcement or purported announcement that was made about initially my suspension and now my purported expulsion from the party is a bogus announcement. It's a nullity, it's null and void, and indeed I've since treated both the purported suspension and the purported expulsion with the contempt and utter ridicule that it absolutely and rightfully deserves. You know, I am saying that because when I was purportedly suspended, up to now I haven't been served with a letter of suspension. When I was purportedly expelled, up to now I haven't been served with a letter of expulsion. Why? Because the constitution of the MDC is very clear and unambiguous. If you look at Article 5.11, it clearly sets out the procedure that has to be followed when a member has to be expelled. And I think for the benefit of the listeners, and I believe many people maybe have no access to the Constitution, let me, out of an abundance of caution, read it. And I quote, "The National Council, by a 2/3 majority of all its members, is of a member may be expelled if the National Council, by a 2/3 majority of all its members, is of the opinion that his or her continued membership would be seriously detrimental to the interests of the party, provided that the member shall be notified in writing of the grounds on which the National Council is considering the termination of his or her membership, and is given a fair opportunity to make representations in writing or in person to the National Council, whereafter the National Council shall consider the members' written or oral comments and respond to them before making their decision." So my purported expulsion flies in the face of Article 5.11 of the Constitution. You know why? I was not given an opportunity, whether orally or in writing, to present my side of the story. As a lawyer, we know there's a principle that we call audi alteram patem. It simply means the right to be heard. Before you condemn a person, you have to give them the right to present their side of the story, whether verbally or in writing. And this is clearly captured in Article 5.11 of the Constitution. This wasn't done. That's why I'm saying that whoever then announces or say that the decision has been made to expel Obert Gutu from the party without complying with this very clear and unambiguous provision of the Constitution, he is obviously trying to make a joke that is not funny. It's like going to a circus. That isn't a circus that instead of providing entertainment,
so I'm going to ask you a question.
Sorry imitation.
Okay, so we're going to talk about legality.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a very simple question. On 22 February, you said, I'm not going to continue associating myself with an organization.
Yes.
So what organization were you quitting?
I wasn't quitting any organization. If you go back to that tweet, it's very clear. I did not announce any intention to quit an organization. I said I'm not going to continue to associate myself. Right now, there is an outfit that calls itself they are running the MDC. And I'm saying I'm not part of that organization, because that organization, with respect, it's a bogus organization. It's an illegitimate organization. The organization to which I belong as at 22 February, and even as at tonight, as I speak to you, as I speak to my fellow Zimbabweans, is the legitimate, lawful, rightful MDC-T. So I don't see an ambiguity there.
So when you say, for the avoidance of doubt for a person listening at home, I've got messages I'm going to read. I want you to answer this very quickly because I want to get to the messages that are coming in.
Yeah.
So in this instance, you did not quit the party.
Absolutely no.
But you quit a group of people within an organization. The party.
Absolutely.
So now all these people had vested positions where they were also elected like you.
No, not all of them were elected. I mean,
but
that's maybe a story for another day.
But there have to be some people that you're saying you're quitting that were elected, no?
Yeah, like I said, not all of them. I don't know which people you're talking about because there are several structures within.
So are you saying none of the people that you're quitting were elected?
All I'm saying is that some of the people whom I don't believe it's fair for me to mention their names because I don't want to open myself to suits for defamation and stuff like that. All I'm saying is I've made myself very clear from day one to say it's Obert Gutu the politician, it is Obert Gutu the private citizen, it is Obert Gutu the individual. I am not going to associate myself with a grouping of people who are violent, a group of people who are thuggish, a group of people who use intimidation and thuggery.
I need you to help the listener at home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's all very well to say, I'm not willing to associate myself with people, I'm not going to name them and so forth. And whether you name them or not, in essence, essentially, they're people that have spoken against you and you have spoken against them. The reality of the situation at the moment for the listeners sitting at home is that this feels like a complex argument. So
I don't think it's complex.
Muraminda right now. I need you to make the person at home understand. You're saying, no, there's certain people I can't speak at them because there's defamation. Maybe you're giving yourself deniability, which is unfair because you are accusing people of quote unquote thuggish and political mobilization, very serious issues here. And by just naming them, or without naming them, you have characterized them as having certain personalities. So in all fairness, we can't say you can't name certain people, whatever the case may be. But by the same token that you're saying some people were elected and were in a position, so because you're an elected official and someone else is the elected official, can you as an individual condemn other people the same way they condemned you based on the fact that some of them are elected and have chosen the other way and those other people are elected and chosen a different way?
Okay, let me put it this way. Even if I'm elected, but if I conduct myself in a violent manner, if I conduct myself in a thuggish manner, then quite honestly, I am worthy of condemnation, and so all I'm saying is, whether or not you are elected, it's really neither here nor there. It's a question of the conduct, because the MDC obviously is a mammoth organization, and it has got elected officials, especially in the party structures, and some are appointed. But all I'm saying is, whether or not one is elected or appointed is neither here nor there. My objection is to do with the conduct, to say, if you are going to conduct yourself violently, if you are going to conduct yourself in a thuggish manner, if you are going to conduct yourself in an intimidatory manner, or whether to other fellow party members or even non-party members, then I'm saying I cannot associate with you. So this is what I'm saying. It's very clear, it's very unambiguous, it's very unequivocal.
I'm going to read a couple of messages here. It's 0731168045. That's our WhatsApp number. Our call number, please call in. As soon as I get a phone flashing through, 0772168045, I will be patching your calls through and you can ask Mr. Gutu all the questions you want to ask him. I'm going to read here. Someone says, right from the start, the gravest mistake that the MDC National Council made was to give the party a surname, in this instance MDC-T. Says it was clear that Morgan Komichi was a vital cog in the MDC-T who kept the party's head above the murky waters. After this as untimely death, no bread and butter issues are addressed. They are spending time undressing each other in the public. The party is crumbling like a deck of cards. From Teacher B, who is in Sadziwa village. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Yes, somebody says, Mr. Gutu Mangwana and okay, Renu rekupedzisira mu August House
Oh, maybe the nation should know that I'm not
elected. Yes, parliamentarian. That Callisto in G-Town, so at least we clarified on that. Just looking here, but then there is that thing that's being asked. That's the one I wanted to ask. Some people are feeling like, at this critical time, are you addressing bread and butter issues, or is this about money, money and power grabbing and that sort of thing?
No, it's not even about money. I mean, let me speak entirely for and on behalf of myself. It's not about money. I mean, unlike what most people think, I mean, it's not an issue of money as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I have always taken politics as a vocation and not as a profession. I do not want to seek to be like bragging, but I think the majority of the people know that I'm a practicing lawyer. I earn a living through practicing law, and my bread is buttered through the practice of law, and that has been the case for the past 30 years or more. And I'm in politics to serve the country, to serve the nation, and not to earn a living. I'm just, like I'm saying, speaking entirely and exclusively about myself.
0731168045. Somebody says, this is Mrs. Marima in Zimuto, who says, ndiri kushaya chaizvo chaidzingirwa vanhu ava mupati chamise ngape kupe post yake kwete kukara. Somebody says Obert Gutu should not waste Zimbabwe's time. Just going to read that, scroll that again. I just got a message that came in that respect. Says Obert Gutu should not waste Zimbabweans time. He's a lost man. Ngaende kwa Gutu kundoriba. But in all fairness, getting back, there has been accusations that you've made, strong accusations, in as far as violence and so forth is concerned. I'm going to read a message earlier on that came from Mugarisan Trotu, who says, kindly ask Obert Gutu that if they are the true MDC-T, why is it that the former chairperson, Love Momoyo, did not give them his resignation, but instead sent it to Harvest House? Also, why is it that 212 of the 215 Central Committee and National Council members reject them? So why, if you are the true MDC-T, why is it that the resignation was sent to someone else?
Look, let me start by saying that I have the utmost of respect for Honorable Lamondo Dana Mute Moyo, the former Speaker of the Parliament of Zimbabwe and the former national chairperson of our party. And quite honestly, I don't think it will be proper for me to purport to speak on his behalf. And I think it's only fair that whoever would like to know how he communicated his resignation, I should find out from him. To be honest with you, he just sent a message to me on WhatsApp to say that he was quitting, and I don't know how he communicated that. Was it in writing to whoever? I don't know. Like I said, I really have no basis. I have no local standard to speak on his behalf about that. But to me, he communicated by way of a WhatsApp message, and I don't know how he communicated his resignation to the other colleagues in the party. So I don't want to lie to the nation.
0731168045. You're listening to ZiFM Stereo, and there's a message here that says, please tell Gutu that there was no need for the MDC party leadership to call him for airing his so-called side of the story, because everything is there on his Twitter account. He's even saying his side right on air currently. The MDC leadership has seen it sound to expel him because he's can't really say that on radio. So you don't have to force yourself to be on people. So that side of the law, if you had said, and now you explaining and cutting it above, and you're saying, but it didn't mean the whole organization, it meant part of the organization and so forth. Could the MDC leadership have felt that because you had resigned, you were just confirming that they accepted your resignation?
No, I didn't resign. Look, if at all I was going to resign, look, I would know how one resigns. I wouldn't resign on Twitter, because Twitter, look, this is a social media platform. I would know what to do. I mean, it's only fair that if I really was resigning, then I would follow the proper procedure of resigning and communicating not on Twitter but to the relevant organs of the party. And that notwithstanding, I also would want to go back to what Article 5.11 states. I think I've read it verbatim for the benefit of the listeners. It's very clear that we are the movement for democratic change. I mean, we should, I always believe that, when we speak about something, we say these are our principles, this is our constitution. We should not only say it, we should practice it. In other words, we should say what we do and do what we say. To me, it's very fundamental. It's one of my fundamental principles to say, if I'm saying I'm a politician who believes in a particular party's principles and I'm bound by the party's constitution, then I cannot blow at or code. I cannot abrogate and reprobate. I should be consistent. So if we say that we are a democratic party with a constitution, like this constitution that I'm holding here, it's very simple and straightforward. If you want to expel or to suspend a member of the party, what do? Go to the constitution and invoke the relevant provisions of the constitution. I mean, nothing less, nothing more. So all I'm saying is, in particular, Article 5.11 was not complied with, or put alternatively, it was breached. This is why I'm saying that the purported, initially, the suspension was bogus. The purported, I use the word purported advisedly because it's not real. The purported expulsion is also bogus. In fact, to me, when I read about these things, I had the laugh of my life, as somebody who grew up in rural Gutu, we used Tiki and stuff like that way back. Tichinakis. So I thought it was some kind of Tiki comedy, films we used to watch in the 70s. This is a Tiki kind of comedy, but this one is a very poor imitation of Tiki because it's a joke that isn't funny.
0731 168 I want you to answer this question before we take a break. When I come back, please call us on 0772 168 and our WhatsApp number being 0731 168 Gutu's misguided. He's the type of person who says it's either I'm in the house or I burn it down. Is this a case of sour grapes?
Sour grapes for what? Look, I've absolutely no sour grapes. I've been very consistent. I mean, why would I want to burn down the MDC, for instance? I mean, even literally or metaphorically. I mean, like I said, I'm not in politics to earn a living. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I think I'm a comfortable lawyer. Look, this is a fact. It might sound a little bit arrogant, but I mean, that's the cold hard fact. So I'm not in politics to get money. What I'm doing as a lawyer is enough to give me a comfortable life, send my kids to good schools, give them a good education, lead a very good life, decent life. So, I mean, why then would I want or wish to burn the house? I mean, anyone who knows Obert Gutu, and there are many people who know me, they will know me that, look, with me, with Obert Gutu, what you see is what you get, and what you get is what you see. I mean, there's no fakeness, there's no pretense.
You're listening to ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station, the hottest radio in town. We are talking about the goings on. This is the first of a two-part show. Just for the listener back home, we are going to have the other side of the story coming in on Wednesday. We're going to have a representative of the part that fired Mr. Gutu.
No, that's purportedly fired.
Purportedly.
Yeah, they can't even, I mean...
So we're going to have that section coming in on Thursday. I know a lot of those questions are coming in. We're going to have them to come and tell the other side of the story. But tonight we're going to have a full hour in which we're going to discuss with Mr. Gutu. There's so many things that we still need to discuss in as far as the goings on within the MDC-T, MDC Alliance and different aspects of it is concerned. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, we're going to be taking more of your messages. And please call in on 0772 168 045 and our WhatsApp number being 0731 168 045. Come in and ask the questions in as far as this topic is concerned. Is ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station, the hottest radio in town.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it. It's ZiFM Stereo Talk.
Can we begin by looking at Zimbabwe's debt clearance plan?
We have since cleared our arrears to the IMF, and right now, clearance of arrears to the African Development Bank and the World Bank is underway. It's work in progress. And I'm confident that we should be able to reach an understanding this year.
The talk that gets you talking. Mondays to Thursdays between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
The platform. Step up and speak up.
You're indeed still tuned into ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station, the hottest radio in town. We are talking about the goings on in as far as the political party that's called the MDC-T. And in this weekend, there was the firing on different individuals within the party, senior individuals. Two of them are legislators, Dr. Thokozani Kupe, who is the deputy president of the party, and the elected representative for Makokoba, and Mr. Bebe, who is the Nkai South legislator, as well as here the spokesperson, Mr. Obert Gutu. We've been talking about so many issues that have been coming up, and as far as that is concerned, but a critical issue, right? You say you're the legitimate MDC-T.
Absolutely. And I'm proceeding every day. I'm practicing my job as the national spokesperson, and whoever actually might feel that I should not do that, they know what to do. If they want to stop me, they will know what to do, and I'm ready for them.
So the question I will ask, a very simple question.
Yes.
The MDC-T has been working out of Harvest House.
Yes.
Where are you working from?
No, I'm working from various places, particularly my chambers. You know why? Because I've been receiving threats, and I'm saying I'm a non-violent person. If I show you my phone here, there's a litany of threats. Some of them full of, profanities, very insulting threats. Obert Gutu must be killed. Obert Gutu must die. We are coming for you. Not that I'm really bothered, because politics, I know, is a hard-hit area. I think my skin is as thick as I think it's a desk if not thicker. So I'm used to that. So all I'm saying is, why should I expose myself to being, beaten up, to being assaulted? So this is one of the reasons, of course, why I don't go there. But the good thing about today's world, and with my kind of job as spokesperson, I can do my job anywhere in the world. I mean, just using, the visual gadgets, smartphone, my laptop, my iPad. I can do that in Mshaiva and Gutu. I can do that in Makoko. I can do that in Rushinga. I can do that in Gachagachi or Kariba. I can do that in Maripati, in Shirezi. I mean, I can do that anywhere in Bedbridge. So I don't have to be confined to any one particular place physically. So,
but I've got to ask a question, though, because in order to execute some of these duties that you do as, you say, being the spokesperson, you obviously have to have meetings with certain individuals.
Yes.
Where do you meet them if not at the party headquarters?
Look, for security reasons, I don't think it will be, sound for me, especially at this juncture, to publicly disclose where I meet with my colleagues. But yeah, we do meet frequently. Only about less than 2 hours ago, I had a very successful meeting with several party cadres. I mean, we met somewhere, and we are going to meet. We are meeting tomorrow. We are meeting the day after tomorrow. But like I said, for security reasons, because threats have been, ushered, and I don't want to jeopardize people's security by disclosing where we meet. Suffice to say that meetings are going on, and we are on a roll. We are absolutely on a roll. And I would actually want to thank the thousands of MDC cadres who are in touch with me literally on a daily basis, sending messages, phoning me. Some are even pushing us to say, where can we come and submit our CVs? I'm saying, no, it's not about CVs. It's not about just you guys wanting to get power or getting into parliament. In a democratic and peaceful way. And I mean, the level of enthusiasm coming from the people is amazing. It's amazing. And like I said, for the sake of protecting their personal safety, I don't want to disclose names or to disclose where we meet. But we are meeting.
But then, on the back of that, if, say, I'm a person who's interested in your leadership.
Yes.
And Kakawanda, most people saying, I need to know the address. I need to know where I'm going to meet this person. I need to be able to have access to this person. I'm saying that at the moment, the person who, the average person, is reduced to WhatsApps and emails and social media at the moment to talk to get
You know
access
what?
to you?
People have always known how we conduct our business, thanks to technology. Because we have Zimbabweans not only within the borders of the country, but all over the world. They know how to conduct us. I mean, there's, like I said, email, there's WhatsApp, various social media platforms, there's Twitter. And look, even my phone number, it's amazing the number of WhatsApp groups I'm invited to join. I think the other day I was counting them. There are more than 55. My phone is always jammed. WhatsApp. And sometimes I ask myself, where did people get my phone number? But they have it. So no one would even complain, Kuti, they have no access to me, because I think I'm one of the most easily accessible people.
Okay, speaking of that, we think we've got a first caller on the line. ZiFM Stereo live on air. Okay, we seem to have lost that call. Please try and call back. Just call us on 0772168045. Please call us in and let's have the discussion as far as this is concerned. I've got a message here on 0731168045 where it says, my question is, why is it that the MDC top brass always seems not to be in agreement and is always setting people's hopes in change behind? They seem to resemble power-hungry people than people who want to change what is good for everyone. I've been looking at the message. Gutu came there to discredit the MDC-T led by Chamisa. He wants the world to think that the party is violent, as if the violence has been visited on him. You mentioned the aspect of violence, and I've got a message here that came a little bit earlier from Timothy Gondo, who says, when you talk about violence, the violence in Malawi that was being talked about, you must tell us who attacked. And he mentions Fuyana and why was Bebe and witness Dube in court, who attacked who here, and also can he give us the video in which Kupe was called a dissident? Please ask the same Fanana no sense. So, for example, you've made these startling allegations. So those questions, like, what your evidence of the violence?
Look, let me talk about the Ulaya violence. I can't remember the exact date, but I think it was on the 4th. Is it the 4th of March? 4th or 5th? I was there. I happened to be there at the party provincial offices, and I witnessed this, personally with my own eyes. And we were there. We were having a very peaceful meeting, and all of a sudden, a group of people came, armed with stones, logs, iron bars, and they started breaking the window panes and at the office, and they started throwing bricks into the open space where we were, and a number of people were injured. I mean, it's not like fair, and they damaged vehicles. Dr. Kupe's car was damaged, Baby's car was damaged, Chief Njovu's car was damaged, a number of cars were damaged, and I was there. I saw them. I saw the damaged vehicles. It's not like this is not corridor talk. I was there. I saw with my own eyes. So these matters, I believe, are now at the courts, and I believe that investigations are continuing. I do not want to jeopardize the work of the police or the courts in determining who is guilty and who is not guilty. Suffice to state that the matters are pending at the courts, and I believe that let justice be done, and at the end of the day, we'll be able to know who at the end of the day was violent. But I was there, and I saw the people who were throwing stones. Of course, I don't stay in Malawi. Most of these guys, I don't know them personally.
But have police reports been made? Because Timothy is also asking.
Yeah, police reports were made, and people were arrested.
Has there been reports on the threats that have been made against you?
No, you know why? I just keep them in my phone. I just say to myself, I'm not going to make police reports. Most of these numbers, invariably, they are +277. Invariably, they are South African numbers. And I think it's a deliberate ploy. Innumerable South African numbers. I can show them to you. I've got my phone here. I can show you. These are death threats. And I say to myself,
let's try and get this call in because we missed it a little bit earlier. You're live in ZiFM Stereo. What's your name, your contribution, and where you're calling from?
Hi, Larry. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Could you just turn down the volume in the background because we had a bit of an echo?
Okay, no, I've just done that. Okay, my name is Alois. I'm phoning from Harare.
Thanks, Alois.
Look, Larry, I just think that these MDC guys, to be very honest with you, not only are they a joke, but they've really let down Zimbabwe. I'm one of the people who voted for MDC when they started and so forth, because we thought we'd run in a direction. Okay? Then you've seen how they've split MDC-T, MDC-M, MDC what, and it goes on and on. Okay, so every other day they are splitting. So at the end of the day, I get very surprised by people who still want to vote for MDC because they're just one big joke. You know what I mean? I am one person who had not registered to vote because I felt there was no need to vote. ZANU-PF in the old regime, Panam Gabe, was not worth voting for. MDC, again, was completely useless, not worth voting for. But because we had the new dispensation when Idi Mnangagwa came on board, I then decided to register to vote because I said, here we are. Now at least this person, I need some direction. And I am therefore going to vote for ED. But the MDC-T, you know, every other, how can you have a party every other day they are splitting? They are just simply not serious. It's MDC. Whether Obert Gutu wacho, whether Wanachamisa wacho, I mean, all of them, this party has just become the biggest joke ever. Which is why even the foreigners, whoever was funding them, they've all given up on them. Because they've just seen these guys are just a useless bunch of people who are not organized, who have no direction. And thank God they did not get into power. GNU. They were in the GNU, right? If you ask Obert Gutu, they were given my ministries, like Minister of Energy, Minister of whatever, Industry, and so forth. But was not my ministries that they were given during GNU. What exactly did they come up with? My guests were always, the load shedding was the highest ever. But it was no Zimbabwe. Without the GNU, electricity is there, the country is moving forward.
Okay, Alois, let me just finish off quickly so I can give other people a chance to call in as well.
Just to finish off, Larry, look, I know it's good you guys are doing this. You're bringing them on board and putting them on air. To be honest with you, it's not worth it. It's not worth your airtime giving MDC our airtime because they're just useless. They're completely useless and they're a big disappointment to Zimbabwe.
Thank you very much for calling, Alois. So that question, somebody says they believed in you. How far?
Yeah, I was listening to the caller, there's concerns, but I think in all fairness, during our tenure in the GNU, we did a sterling job. I think we did very well. When we went into the GNU, the economy was literally on its knees. Our late leader, Dr. Tsvangirai, was the Prime Minister. I think in all fairness, people will agree that in less than a week, the economy really started stabilizing. Goods that were absolutely no longer there in the shops started appearing in the shops, and even prices of basic goods and commodities started stabilizing. I think chakanaka ngati bvumei. And look, I was a Deputy Minister myself, Deputy Minister of Justice during the GNU, and I think we did a lot with a lot of work with the prisons, reforming the prisons. I toured literally all the prisons in Zimbabwe, introduced a lot of reforms, and my colleagues who were in the various ministries really worked their socks off to make sure that the lives of the ordinary people of Zimbabwe was bettered, and indeed it was bettered. I still remember that many people then have said, Tsvangirai India $1 for $2, and that is exactly what happened. Saka, anyway, my comrades, chakanaka.
Okay, so we're going to read Rodi from Kwekwe says, very true, they're not even organized. But someone else, Terry Pachi, who says, last caller is not serious, he's also useless, his vote is a drop in an ocean. Someone says, listen to 0731. Okay, we seem to have a caller coming in. You're live on ZiFM Stereo. What's your name? What's your contribution and where you're calling from? Okay, we seem to have lost that call. Getting back to what we're reading here on our WhatsApp. Remember, it's 0772 168 045. That's a call-in number. And our WhatsApp number being 0731 168 045. Okay, it seems we're getting that call once again. You're live on ZiFM Stereo. Okay, lost that number once again. Please keep trying to call in. We've got a call in. Okay, it's flashing again. Let's see if it flashes just one more time. Yes, it does. You're live on ZiFM Stereo. What's your name? What's your contribution and where you're calling from? Okay, we lost that call once again. Please keep trying to call. Let me read. Let me listen to your. this is let's look at this message that I was reading here. It seems as if that WhatsApp just closed right now. I'm just going to check here if we're having a problem. We're going to try this because it's flashing once again. You're live on ZiFM Stereo. What's your contribution? Where are you calling from? And what's your name?
My name is Brian, calling from Gutu.
Please.
I'd like to ask me.
Go ahead, please.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, calling from Gutu. I would like to ask you, Mr. Gutu, why is it that if he says he is the genuine MDC, why is it that they are not operating from the MDC headquarters at the Morgan Komichi building, and they are operating from unknown places? You may give us an answer to that question, please.
Okay, thank you for your contribution. So,
yeah, like I've already indicated when I did my initial submissions, we have received and we continue to receive, threats. Death threats, threats of violence. So just to protect people's safety, including my own safety, that's why we're not operating from Morgan Komichi House. So it's really a security issue. I mean, would one expect us to go to a place where we are threatened with death, where we're threatened to be beaten up and to be assassinated? I mean, we still have families. We want to look after our families. We don't want to be killed. I mean, if I may put it that way. So it's a security issue.
You're live with ZiFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where you're calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Harare. My name is Tendai.
Tendai, go ahead.
Yes. You know what I see these guys, it's like one Munaka Pinambasara, and you come up with a company. Hello, Dazakanaka. I got running out of no problem with your Gutu. Yeah, I would talk about radio. You guys, like this Syria Chamisa Waba. Naida Gutu is very young, they say men. But you guys, you have got a problem. You don't want to respect something, and you are so greedy. One was pinda my mind in politics is often like a living Kuzanquacho. One pinda my mind, you are not going most of the morning. Don't bring it as in. Which is not good.
Okay,
why don't you be together? Then one who batten on it as in way forward. What is the movie days? Look how many years have you been in MDC? Then you find one about it as all good breaker.
Okay, thank you for your contribution, Brian.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, how do you respond to Brian's statement?
That was more of a statement and not a question. I don't know how to...
But he has concerns.
Maybe the concern...
is like, do you not have... What is the reason you don't have confidence in Chamisa?
I didn't mention anybody's name to say I have no confidence in anyone. I'm being very cautious here. I don't know where, with respect, where that the caller is getting that from. Apana munada about respect. Apana taura jajiri in terms of the constitution. Apana munada no show rakanati and respect. So I do not want to comment on issues or somebody is putting words in my mouth. You're live on
ZiFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Warren Park, Harare.
Go ahead, please.
I think these people, what they're failing to appreciate is politics. You have to be a pragmatic person. Sometimes we have to understand that people have moved on. Like, take for example, idea, ED and so forth. Fine is illegitimate and so forth. But the fact is, that was the reality. That is what the people wanted. And this, whatever you're going to talk about, the legality and so forth, we don't eat law, we don't eat all that. Do that, practice all that in there. But the fact is, we have moved on. We are with Chamisa. Sometimes we have to really appreciate what is the public mood is all about. You're going to be utopian and thinking about all this stuff, but it is not going to work.
Thank you for your contribution.
If I could quickly comment
there. Why these people,
all right. Let me just give him an opportunity to respond to you, and then we can get out of the calls in. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
Larry, I'm not being utopian. All I'm saying is, it's in a constitution. So, and this utopian, is really unreal. Zvafanana nomuchechi chaimo ndonga na vazhinji muno vabarenda kudzichechi ma Christian churches ma Muslims ma religions angosiyana siyana. Pane mitemo inoteedzerwa chero kuri kuchechi kuti kana mufundisi kana uri mutariri kana uri mudhikoni kana uri elder kana uri chi, pane mitemo inoteedzerwa. Saka atingati kana tiri musangano kana kubury society chaiko kuna mitemo ndokuti takaona mabarrier society ose atorine maconstitution saka tingati hangatisatedzera zviri muconstitution nokuti zviri utopia tikasadaro ndo zvinouraya nyika ndo zvatakanetsana namugabe izvozvo tichiti mugabe haasi kuteedzera constitution nokuti zveshuwa wanga asiri kutedzera constitution saka tiri kuti kana tida kuvaka Zimbabwe iri benchmarked on constitutionalism nokuti kana kuti nyika ibudirire even economy isumuke inosimuka kana vanhu vachiteedzera mutemo saka tikangoti tonge tadonga watonga muzinda wenyuchi kwatinosvika ndekupi haisiri utopia iyo ireality yandiri kutaura.
Okay, so now I've got, speaking of reality, I got T. Govad or Tapswe Shava on Twitter was asking, Mr. Gutu is a failure, full stop. Mr. Monzora was threatened in Buhera, but he didn't stop going to Harvest House. He is still with the ship. My advice to Mr. Gutu is in any organization, a real soldier is seen in battle with others. You might differ in ideologies, but battle together. What's your response to that?
Look, people, we are different. I'm speaking entirely about myself. If I'm being threatened with death, you want me to continue to go to a place where I'm being threatened with death? I think, in all fairness, that is suicidal. I mean, I have no appetite for suicide, and speaking entirely about my own safety, I don't think I should continue to associate with people who are threatening me or who are threatening to kill me. We're still. So, I mean, people are different. And I feel that I've got a life to lead and I've got a family to look after. I've got a country to work for. And why should I then deliberately, drive myself like a lamb to the slaughter? I think that would be very unwise, isn't it? Very foolhardy, isn't it?
You're live with ZiFM Stereo. What's your name, your contribution, and where you're calling from? Okay, I seem to have lost that call. Please try and call back again on ZiFM Stereo 0772 168 It seems there's a flashing again. Just checking shortly. No, we don't have a flash there. So then the question somebody else asked that, and I think this is coming from, I think it was Patson Zamara say today, if you lose, there's a call that is being made by Dr. Kupe, for example, who say let's have a Congress. And, if that was the case, if there was a Congress that came together and she lost the Congress, so to speak, would she accept that result?
Look, I'm not mandate to speak on her behalf, but the Tokazan Kupe that I know, I'm sure she'll accept. In the same way that even me, whoever wins.
No.
Whoever wins.
But on your Twitter account, you have spoken about her repeatedly as being the legitimate leader. So you can't say now.
I didn't say legitimate. I said the legitimate acting president.
Yes,
in accordance with this constitution.
So, I mean, at this
she's
point,
not even the substantive.
So the question then becomes...
She's an acting president. No, because apasati pana substantive. Yeah, Dr. Kupe, I don't think Kanavakajiti very substantive. I think she'll be wrong. If she said that, then with respect to you, that's misleading. And I don't think she said that. She is the acting president. It's not like Tiri Democratic Party. Dosaka kanzi movement for democratic change. Ukona nzgira kuti democratic rakiswa mu pazita. Zvinezva zvinoreva.
Okay, let's just get this call in. You're live on ZiFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where you're calling from?
Tyler, Martin.
Martin, what's your contribution?
Okay, I get confused with the Mr. Gutu. He's not answering each and every question that you are asking. So why did he come on air? What is it that is bringing us to us? I think this guy is there to confuse us. So
which question would you like him to answer for you right now? Ask him one very specific question, then he'll answer it for you.
Okay, if I am to ask him this question, when the late Richard Changirai appointed Engineer Muzuri and Advocate Chambisa, was that constitutional? Can he answer whilst I'm still wording?
Look, I don't see how I should even answer that question because we are talking here about the situation as it is at the moment.
Mr. Gutu, you are always referring to that Bible, the Constitution.
Yes.
So again, we should also refer to the Constitution when those appointments were made. Were they constitutional? If yes, we then proceed to the next question. If no, why did you allow it to happen? Now we are about to go to the elections. This is where you can then come and say you are being paid behind our back to confuse the electorate.
Paid by who? Look, I'm paid by my clients, yes, for practicing law, yes. I admit I'm being paid by clients for practicing law.
Thank you very much for calling, Martin. But that question, was it legal?
Which question now?
These questions, you didn't answer the question. You prevaricated.
No, I didn't prevaricate. All I'm saying is,
what's the answer?
Quite honestly, if we are going to go backwards, I don't see the value of even answering that question, because we are talking.
No, but the question that he asked is a very simple.
We are talking, Larry. True, but
listener asked said at the beginning of his conversation that you're not answering the questions. He asked you a very specific question.
Yes.
Was it constitutional? Is a yes or no question.
Look, during that time, I think I made my position very clear. I even communicated that to my late boss.
To say what?
Yeah, I don't want to. That was privileged advice I gave him.
So this was never in public?
Yeah, it was never in the public domain. But I did communicate. We were just the two of him. He called me to his office at his house, not too far from here, and I did tell him about my opinion.
So, in your opinion...
about my... But
in your opinion,
why I don't want to give an answer publicly now, that question, because I gave that advice to him in confidence.
So are you saying because it didn't go into public, then it became constitution because you didn't go into public?
No. I didn't say... I gave him my opinion. It was a legal opinion.
So do you have an opinion on the matter that you can tell the public?
I gave it to him in confidence. So for now, I don't see any relevance with respect. And I believe that I will plead, if it was in the US, I say I would plead.
So with respect to the...
I don't think it's fair, because
with respect to the constituent, we're sitting at home. Martin called in and asked a very specific question. Didn't ask you to tell us or whatever. That's not what he's interested in.
Yes.
He asked you, as a leader of a political party or within senior positions, where you may be, whatever the argument may be happening right now. He's asking you for clarity. What do you say to that?
I gave my position, my answer to my leader in confidence, was that question had been asked to me in confidence. And I think for now, if I'm going to answer that question and answer in the public domain, it will not help the debate.
So are you saying on record that you're refusing to answer the question?
I'm not refusing. I'm just reserving my right to answer that question within the public domain.
Well, that's a refusal by any imagination, because...
But he can communicate with me in confidence, I'll tell him. But I think for reasons really of just ensuring that there's stability and peace and tranquility, I reserve my right to answer that question within the public domain.
0731-168-045. That's our WhatsApp number. You're calling us on 0772-168-045. We've got still got 7 minutes, so we're going to get another call here. You're live on ZiFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where you're calling from? Yes. Where you calling from, and what's your contribution?
Yes, I'm calling from. My name is Patrick.
Yes, go ahead, Patrick.
Right. Nandaka Cherera Gutu achitaura baba. Nini chandoda kuti nditaure pamusoro pe-MDC chakaivhotera kubva ichitanga, I think from 2000. But now vane ma-confusions akawanda. I want to respond again pane zvambotaurwa with some other caller. Anga achitaura kuti iye akaivhotera also from 2000 kubva ipapo. But iwayanga achitaura maonero ake ekuti akuvhotera to the other party. Ndo maonero ake wanga achitaura. But indiri kuti vana Gutu kana vasiri kuda iye nevamwe vake, we respect them very much, but kana vasiri kuda zvekuti varambe vari mumusangano, zvakanaka kuti vangobuda vasiye musangano uchifambira mberi, vanhu vagone kuvhotera musangano wavo vanoda, kwete kuti vakonzere confusion within that party. Those are zvatisiri kuda izvozvo.
Okay.
I don't know if I could, Larry,
I think vaGutu vazinzwa. We want them to move out kana vasiri kuda zvemusangano. Ati kana vachida zvemusangano ngavadzokere mumusangano, vaite zvemusangano inonzi MDC yakatangwa tichiziva agenda yayo nekwairi kuenda. And otherwise zvinhu zviri kutoitika muno munyika muno zvakatohighlightwa vanhu ne-MDC. Saka tinotozi appreciate izvozvo kuti tikava nemaparties kana nemwe party iri effective munyika, pane zvinoitika zvakawanda zvatogona kuona tichivhurwa umbrella. But hatisi kuda commotion, zvekurwa zvekutaurwa izvi nekungokwita mapati nekusplita, hatisi kuda izvozvo.
Okay, thank you very much for calling to Nopakutenda. What's your response to that?
No, I want to thank him for, the submission. Tuda kuenderera mberi isindo zvatataura kuti tiri kuenderera mberi tiri mubato the legitimate lawful right for MDC-T. Zvino kana vakuda kuti hanzi chibvai handisi toona kuti tibve on what basis, nokuti tiri kuteedzera gwara romusangano rebumbiro romutemo womusangano. Zvino handizoti taresha chii tatadza chii ipapo.
You're live on ZiFM Stereo on what's your name, where you're calling from, and what's your contribution? Okay, seem to have a problem there. Please try and call back. I've got a question here from Rudokubare, who says, ask him if his legitimate MDC has a quorum of the National Council, there's any meeting of decision making, and also if Monzera is now breaking the constitution by supporting Chamisa.
Look, I have no mandate to speak on behalf of Honorable Douglas Monzora.
So away from that, the first question, do you have the quorum at the National Council to make any decision-making position?
Quorum,
you talked about the two-thirds. Okay, so you made reference to the two-thirds support that's needed in the quorum in order to be able to make decisions.
Yes. If that is the question.
Have support?
To be honest with you, even Musangano Chawagatua Friday, which purportedly fired us or expelled us, there was not even quorum because there was no two-thirds majority. If you look at the total membership, your council, it's about 253, I think. 253 people. And you can do your math. What is two-thirds of 253? And find out kuti vanhu vacho vanonzi vakavhota vangani. When I last did my math on Friday night, I think it came up to about 56 or so percent, which is way short of the two-thirds majority. And like I've already indicated, still hapana kuita complied with the constitution because there was supposed to be an issue yokupa vanhu an opportunity to present their side of the story either orally or in writing. Hazvina kuitwa izvozvo, but zvangodzi tatodzinga vanhu. We can't do that. Ndosanda tichiri kubarrier society yakuno mutemo wokuti kana munhu achinzi wakanganisa kana kuti pane zvawakanganisa unopuwa mukana wokuzvidefenda. Yandambotaura inonzi odd outer term. You can't just condemn a person or a man or a woman and met punishment usina kuwapa mukana wokupresent their side of the story. I mean, to me that is kangaroo justice. That's why I call it the kangaroo court session. That is exactly what it was, and that's why we have dismissed it with the contempt that it deserves. It's a purported dismissal.
Okay, I'm going to keep an eye for one more call, but I want to ask you a question. All right. Are you, you mentioned earlier there was no sour grapes, but the majority of the people that have been messaging us have been saying, no, this is a topic that's gone away. I know someone called P, if I could find her Twitter handle here, she's been going on all day, saying, like, you know what, the Constitution, we've done things constitutionally and so forth. Given that sort of scenario, are you not worried that there's such a huge number of people that vehemently disagree with your position?
No, I'm not worried at all. I believe that that's the whole essence of democracy. I'm absolutely convinced, Larry, in terms of the Constitution. I'm a man who is guided by principle. You know, where I come from, do you know, and this get poison. You know that expression? No, we don't do that. All we are saying is we don't go with the wind. No. Chakanaka ngachiitwe. Kana chaitwa zvakanaka tinofara nacho vatafara kuti do zvaitwa zvakanaka. Kana zvikaitwa zvakashata, we can't say zvaitwa zvakashata saka ngatingobvuma kuti chiro zvakashata zvakanaka. To some of us, to me in particular, speaking entirely about myself, if something is wrong fundamentally, and there's no negotiation. There's absolutely no compromise. If something is wrong, it's wrong. Whether 2 million people are going to come and say, I will tell them over my dead body. That is not going to happen. I will not accept that won't happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not next year, not any time in my life. Never.
Mr. Gutu, thank you very much for coming through to ZiFM Stereo. That is Mr. Obert Gutu, who is the national spokesperson for the MDC-T.
Yes.
Although the other part of the MDC-T say he's no longer there.
No, I am the spokesperson.
So So next on Wednesday we'll be having a discussion with the deputy spokesperson Morgan Komichi, or deputy chairperson rather, Morgan Komichi, to hear the other side of the story. But other than that, you've been tagged in a lot of the comments on social media, so I'm hoping on Twitter you'll be able to respond to a lot of people that
I wish I lived the time.
It's a good thing to have.
Yeah,
a
I try
conversation.
to, but hey.
But coming up now is Chilla with Our Story, coming on between now and the top of the hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for listening.
And my name is My name is Larry Quidera. I'll be back with you tomorrow between 7:30 and the 9 p.m. We've got a special edition off the platform as well as Health Matters. And on Wednesday on the platform between 7:30 and 8:30, you should be talking again about the MDC-T. This time talking to the national chairperson, deputy chairperson Morgan Komichi, about what's happening on that side of the story. Other than that, I say take care of yourself and the people that you love. My name is Larry Quidera, and as I say, where we come from, take care of yourself.